Hello everyone, welcome to all of you in this lecture series of ancient history. So in this lecture, I will be starting Vedic literature. In the previous lecture, we have seen Vedic literature, okay, and I made chart for you to understand the Vedic literature. Now in this lecture, I will be discussing Vedic literature separately, one by one, okay. So now, Vedic literature. Let's start with the topic. Vedic literature. Okay. As I have already told you, two traditions were there, Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means to hear, Smriti to write. So, under Shruti tradition, Vedas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, okay, and Upanishads. Is that clear? Under Smriti tradition, okay, under Smriti tradition, okay, Vedangas, Purans, Upavedas, and epics or Mahakavya. Okay, these two things, Shruti and Smriti. So first we'll start with Vedas. Okay, now Vedas. Vedas. So there are four Vedas. Okay, four Vedas are there. Rig Veda, okay, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, Athar Veda. These four Vedas are there. Okay, Rig Veda, okay, 1028 sloks, or you can say hymns. Okay, and Rig Veda is also known as oldest testament in the mankind. Oldest testament. Rig Veda is also known as oldest testament. Please remember this. Okay, Rig Veda, oldest testament. Is that clear? And the mantra of each Veda, the mantra, please remember this, mantra of each Veda is known as Samhita. Samhita. The mantra of each Veda is known as Samhitas. Is that clear? Please remember this. So Rig Veda is the oldest testament. Okay, oldest testament. Okay, Rig Veda, oldest religious text in the world, and this Rig Veda is also known as the first testament of mankind. This is very important thing. First testament in mankind. Is that clear? And it was composed around 1700 BC. Rig Veda composed around 1700 BC. Okay, please remember this. And this Rig Veda organized into 10 books. 10 books. This Rig Veda organized into 10 books. and those 10 books are known as 10 mandals. You must have seen in your NCRT as well. Mandals. Mandals means books. 10 books. Is that clear? Please remember this. So this Rig Veda is divided into 10 mandalas. Okay, 10 mandalas. Is that clear? So if I ask you, there are various factual things, okay, related to Rig Veda that we will be seen in next slide. Rig Veda. Okay, Rig Veda. So first testament in the mankind. Okay, first testament. Now there are various questions in your prelims examination from the Rig Veda. For example, Gayatri month. Okay, Gayatri month belongs to which mandal? It already been asked in your prelims examination. This question has already been asked in your prelims examination. That Gayatri month belongs to which mandal? Okay, in your previous year prelims paper. Okay, Gayatri month. Okay, so it belongs to Rig Veda itself, but in prelims they ask which mandal. Okay, which mandal. So like these kind of question, we need to understand that which mandal belongs to Gayatri month. Is that clear? ये याद रखिएगा. तो ऐसे सारी चीजें पूछी जाती हैं. ओके, कि गायत्री मंत्र कौन से मंडल में है. ओके, सो दिस गायत्री मंत्र, ओके, गायत्री मंत्र belongs to third mandal. It is in third mandal of Rig Veda. Okay, Rig Veda. Okay, and this Gayatri month is associated. Okay, which god is associated with which god? किस god से associate है करता है ये गायत्री मंत्र? Okay, so Gayatri month, okay, for the goddess goddess Savitri. Goddess Savitri. Is that clear? Gayatri month. Okay, please remember this. And the 10th mandal is very important in Rig Veda. 10th mandal. Mandal, you can say chapter also. Okay, or book also. Anything you can say, mandal. So 10th mandal is very important. Why? Because in 10th mandal, there is a concept of Purusha Sukta. Concept of Purusha Sukta. Now, why this Purusha Sukta is important? Why? Okay, because in 10th mandal, under this concept of Purusha Sukta, there is first reference of caste system. In this first reference of caste system. Okay, first reference of caste system. Okay, and under this it is written there that under this every human being is created by Brahma. That is why in the later Vedic age Brahma is the creator. In later Vedic age the Brahma is the creator, and that is why in Purusha Sukta under the 10th mandal of Rig Veda it is written there that every human being is created by Brahma. Okay, from his body, okay, from his home body, but from different organs. Okay, not from his body. That every human being is created by whom? Brahma. Human beings created by whom? Brahma. Okay, from his organs. Okay, so the people who is created by his head, please listen carefully. The people, those who are created from his head are known as Brahmins. Brahmins. Okay. Then the people, those who are created from his shoulders, known as Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas. The people, those who are created from his thighs. Okay, thighs. Known as Vaishyas. And the people, those who are created from his feet, known as Shudras. So from here, this Purusha Shukta, the first reference of Varna system in later Vedic age. Okay, so we got reference of Varna system from this Rig Veda's 10th mandal. Is that clear? Please remember this. Okay, so this is how Varna system was created. Okay, please remember this. These things are very important for your information as well as for your prelims as well as mains also. And it can be asked in your interview as well. Okay. Now, the next Veda is Yajur Veda. Now, we'll see Yajur Veda. Okay. Now, Yajur Veda. Very important. Yajur Veda. Now, I will discuss Yajur Veda here. Yajur Veda. What is Yajur Veda? Okay. Yajur Veda. It describes about rituals. Okay, Yajur Veda describes about rituals. That is why Yajur Veda is known as book of rituals. Okay, and the biggest problem of rituals is that there is no direct connection between God and devotees. The biggest drawback, or you can say problem. What was the problem? That there is no direct connection. No direct connection between God and his devotees. Okay, because rituals is performed by whom? Brahmanas. Okay, so the Brahmical supremacy was there. That is why the new stream, Shramana stream, was formed as a reaction against the Brahmical supremacy. Is that clear? So the rituals, these rituals, Brahmanas, they have taken these rituals from Yajur Veda. Okay. And the third Ved, that is Sam Veda. Sam Veda. Okay, third Veda. Okay. This is known as Book of Music. Book of Music. Yes. Okay. That this Ved talks about how to tune shlokas of Rig Ved, how to sing the mantras of Rig Ved. That is why this Sam Ved is known as Book of Music. So this Ved gives importance to music, and shlokas or mantras or hymns in Rig Veda were tuned. Is that clear? Okay. Now the last Ved, that is Atharva Veda. Okay. Atharva Veda. Okay. Now this Ved, okay, this Ved is known as Book of Magic. Magic. So from where these Brahmins, they learned magic. Okay. So they learned magic from this Atharva Ved, Brahmins. So this Atharva Ved, it describes the prevention of diseases and evil spirits. Okay. So this Atharva Ved, it describes the prevention of diseases and evil spirits. So this is all about 4 Vedas. Okay, this is all about 4 Vedas. Is that clear? We have discussed each and every Veda. Rig Veda, Sam, Yajur and Atharvaveda. Is that clear? Okay, so we have completed this Vedas. Now Brahmanas. Okay, Brahmanas. Now we'll be discussing Brahmanas. Brahmanas. Okay. So, okay, what do you mean by Brahmanas? Okay, the most important thing. What do you understand by Brahmanas? Okay, see, the Brahmanas are the prose text which explains the hymns of Vedas. Yes, Brahmanas are the prose text which explains the hymns of Vedas. Is that clear? So Brahmanas are the prose text, okay, which explains the hymns of Vedas. Okay, Brahmanas, they give explanations. Okay, okay, they give explanations. They give applications and related stories to of their origin. Okay, so please remember this, that each and every Brahman is associated with one of the Veda. Every Brahman is associated with one of the Vedas, who explained, okay, who summarized the Vedas. Is that clear? Because during the Vedic period, it was impossible for the common people to understand the language of Vedas. Is that clear? And that is why Brahmanas, okay, Brahmanas, they give explanations, they explain the hymns in the Vedas. Is that clear? So now we'll see how many Brahmanas are there. How many Brahmanas are there? Total 7. Please remember this. Total 7 Brahmanas. Okay. 7 Brahmanas. Total 7 Brahmanas. Is that clear? Okay. Now, there are 3 important Brahmanas. For example, Aitarya Brahman. Okay. Then Shatapat Brahman. Shatapat Brahman. Then Kaushtiki Brahman. Kaushtiki Brahman. These 3 Brahmans are very important. And the first reference of Aitarya Brahman comes from Andhra. Andhra. First reference of Aitarya Brahman comes from Andhra. Please remember this. Okay. Aitarya Brahman. Okay. Please remember this. Okay. So Aitarya Brahman, Kaushtiki Brahman, okay, Shatapat Brahman, these 3 are important Brahmans. Important Brahmanas. And all the Brahmanas are associated with the Vedas. Please remember this. Okay. For example, Rig Veda. Okay. Which Brahman is associated with Rig Veda? Aitarya Brahman and Kaushtiki Brahman. Okay. Okay. Only Aitarya and Kaushtiki Brahman, these 2 Brahmans are associated with Rig Veda. Please remember this. Okay. These 2 Brahmins, okay, associated with Rig Veda. Okay. Please remember. Then who is associated with Yajur Veda? Taitarya Brahman is associated with Yajur Veda. Okay, Taitarya Brahman. There is one more Brahman. Taittiriya, associated with Yajurveda. Maitrani Brahman also associated with Yajurveda. Two Brahmins, Maitrani and Taittiriya. Is that clear? So the Brahmanas are associated with Vedas also. Is that clear? So this is all about Brahmanas. Now, so we have completed Vedas as well as Brahmanas. Now Aranyakas. Aranyakas. Now I will be discussing Aranyakas, then Upanishads. Okay? Aranyakas. Aranyakas. Okay? Now, what do you understand by Aranyaka? Okay? What do you understand by Aranyaka? So let me tell you that Aranyakas contains the philosophy of rishis. Okay, rishis. Okay, Aranyakas contains the philosophy of rishi munis in the forest, and that is why Aranyakas are known as forest books. Forest books. Please remember this. That is why Aranyakas are known as forest books. Is that clear? So Aranyakas were written in the forest. Okay, and Aranyakas are the concluding part. Aranyakas are concluding part of Brahmanas. In the previous topic, we have discussed Brahmanas. Okay, so the concluding part of Brahmanas known as Aranyakas. Concluding part. Is that clear? Concluding part of Brahmanas known as Aranyakas. Okay, and Aranyakas, they don't lay much emphasis on rites, rituals, and sacrifices, but Aranyakas have two things: philosophy and mysticism. Philosophy and mysticism. Aranyakas has two things: philosophy and mysticism. Okay, and that is why Aranyakas have moral science and philosophy. Okay, and Aranyakas also provides the details of the rishis who lived in jungles. Is that clear? Please remember this. So this is all about Aranyakas. Aranyakas written in the forest, concluding part of Brahmanas. It talks about philosophy and mysticism. It does not talk about rituals and rites. Is that clear? Please remember this. Now the last thing in the Shruti literature, that is Upanishads. Okay, Upanishads. Now Upanishads. Yes. So what do you understand by Upanishads? See, Upanishads means that the person, okay, Upanishad means to sit down near someone and denotes a student sitting near his guru to learn. Okay, that means a person sitting near his guru to learn something known as Upanishads. Okay, this is known as Upanishads. And this Upanishads, it talks about the secret knowledge. Okay, Upanishad, it talks about the secret knowledge given to the pupils by his guru. And secret knowledge represents here senses to consciousness. That means two things, yoga and meditation. Upanishads. Okay. Please remember this. Okay. And Upanishads belongs to philosophical knowledge and spiritual learning. Okay. Upanishads belongs to philosophical knowledge and spiritual learning. Please remember this. It belongs to philosophical knowledge and spiritual learning. Is that clear? Spiritual learning. Okay. And this Upanishads are also known as Vedantas. Vedantas. What do you mean by Vedantas? Why Upanishads are known as Vedantas? Why? Because Upanishads came by the end of Vedas. That is why known as Vedanta. Vedanta means end of the Veda. Is that clear? That is why Upanishads are called as Vedanta, end of the Veda. Okay. Why? Because Upanishads denote the last phase of Vedic period. Okay. Upanishads denotes the last phase of Vedic period. Last phase of Vedic period. That is why they are known as Vedanta. And there is one more reason. Okay. Upanishad denotes the last phase of Vedic period. And secondly, they reveal the final aim of Vedas. Upanishad reveal the final aim of Vedas. That is why, because of these two reasons, Upanishads are called as Vedantas. Is that clear? Please remember this. Okay. So there are total 108 Upanishads. Please remember this. Okay. There are total 108 Upanishads. No need to remember all the names of Upanishads. Just remember the important Upanishads. Okay. That is Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad. Okay. Then Brihadra Nayak Upanishad. Okay. Then Shvetvatara Upanishad. Okay. Why this Upanishad is important, Shvetvatara? Because in this Upanishad, first reference to Bhakti. Bhakti का reference दिया हुआ है. Under this Shvetvatara Upanishad, reference of Bhaktism was given there. Okay. Then Mundaka Upanishad. Mundaka. Why Mundaka Upanishad? And UPSC has already asked this question in prelims examination. Why Mundaka Upanishad? Because Satyamev Jayate. Satyamev Jayate. Under this Upanishad, Satyamev Jayate is present. Under this Mundaka Upanishad. Is that clear? So these are four main important Upanishads. Okay. Please remember this. And there are other Upanishads as well, like Brihadranayaka and Chandogya Upanishads are the oldest Upanishads. Okay. Brihadranayaka and Chandogya, oldest Upanishads. Is that clear? Please remember this. Okay. And the latest Upanishad known as Muktika Upanishad. And this Upanishad, Okay, this Upanishad was recorded by whom? Dara Shikoh, brother of Aurangzeb, son of Shah Jahan. Dara Shikoh. Are you getting my point? Muktika Upanishad recorded by Dara Shikoh. Is that clear? Please remember this. Okay. So there are total 108 Upanishads. Please remember this. Okay. So this is all about Upanishads. So finally we have completed the Shruti literature of Vedas. In the next lecture, I will be discussing the Smriti literature of Vedas. Is that clear? I hope आप सभी को ये लेक्चर समझ में आया होगा. Okay. So thank you class. Thank you so much.